Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for being here. We're going to start our abbreviated Memorial Day service this morning, and we will start with the pledge to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And at this time, would we all please bow our heads in a moment of silence and prayer in your own way. Thank you. I would like to thank Commissioner Charlie Castlen for the work that he does every year for us by researching all of the names of those who have passed on since our last Memorial Day service. And so at this time, we will begin reading the names.
Before we start, I did want to say there's 329 names this year, and if anyone's watching at home and they see and they know that I've missed their name, I've done my best not to, but if they know that I've missed somebody, if they would contact me, they can just call the courthouse or the city hall, call Pam, either one, and that name will be added to the first at the very beginning of next year's list. We begin. Roy Eugene Hill, Sr.
Wallace G. Hancock, Jr.
James Thomas O'Brien, Jr.
James E. Hagan, Jr.
Jeffrey A. Hulsey.
William Bedford Early, Sr.
Clarence F. Freeman.
Morris Wayne Guthrie.
Rondell Lee Ronnie Ransom.
Charles Cecil Englehart, Jr.
Kenneth Austin Payne.
Joel William Dunlap.
Harlan Ray Harney, Sr.
Harlan Al Johnson.
Benny Ray Davison.
James Ezra Williams.
D. Glenn Porter.
Jack S. Auld.
Harold Gene Huck Basham.
Jerry R. Wilder.
James Lewis Stuck.
Thomas E. Tommy Bickett.
Everett E. Gene Sapp.
Louis B. Woods.
Eric T. Rummage.
Timothy C. Williams.
Thomas Franklin Hamath.
James Aaron Smith.
Carla Lynn Smith.
Muriel Jewel Cobb.
James H. Evans.
Joseph Franklin Welch, Jr.
Robert Louis Volman.
Ronnie R. Swindle.
Larry Sparks.
James R. Penny.
Gilbert L. Gibb Evans.
Wesley L. Posey.
Bill G. Clark.
Philip H. Jenkins.
Walter E. Eddie Paxton.
James L. Jim Jeffries.
Terry A. Morris.
Robert Lee Bob Hall.
Maurice Edward Burton.
John James Keegan.
Ira Howard.
Hugh Barclay,
John Henry Long.
John William Stoll,
Raymond Russell Treader I.
Larry Macy,
Weldon Hunt Jr.
Dennis Richard Denny Molinsky,
Lester Sherbert Lambert.
David Michael Hudson,
James Lucian Montgomery Jr.
Christopher Blake,
Ricky Lee Dino.
Weldon McGavin Brumley,
Larry Franklin Cook.
John W. Montgomery,
Philip Gregory Calvert.
Anna Marie Byram Fincher,
Willie C. Adams Jr.
Thomas L. Hagan,
Walter David White Sr.
Estacio Sanchez,
William Joseph B.J. Foster Jr.
Glenn Maurice Young II,
Hoover Jackson Jack Neal.
John Patrick Pat Edge,
Walter Samuel Gainey Jr.
William R. Geary,
Tammy Sue Porter Fonts.
Layman Harold Condor,
Norman L. Whitaker.
Carl L. Pendley,
Earl Thomas Daniel.
Captain Kenneth Earl McElfee,
Hugh Lynn Wade.
Larry E. Daughtery Sr.,
Robert L. Hines Sr.
Frank Alfred McDaniel,
Billy Gerald Richardson.
Billy Ray Vincent,
Dr. William Elkin Doc Pearson Jr.
Stephen Andrew Mall,
Daniel Haddix Hughes Jr.
Harlan Hall Melander,
Charles F. McLaughlin.
Bruce Evans King,
Roscoe Lee Bobo Foster Jr.
Bruce W. Wimsett,
Donnie Shepard.
Spalding E. Jean Loy,
Doyle Howard Stogner.
Patricia Lynn Bradley,
Vincent J. Dick.
the Reverend B. Harry Spurrier Jr.,
Wayne Bruce Pannell.
Richard Antonio Marcelino,
George D. Clark.
George Edward Roberts,
Eugene Evans Jr.
Bernard Cox Jr.,
Charles F. Charlie Collins.
Ernie M. Wallace,
Alan Otis Short.
Eugene Miller, Gene Nolan,
James Hugh, Mr. Jim Boyd.
Thomas Edward McMahon,
William M. Hagan.
Richard M. Knight Sr.,
Wilburn G. Jack Fort.
Joseph Mitchell Cecil,
Marvin Kirk Melhiser.
Paul A. Brickwormer Jr.,
Sheldon Ray Sonny Tharp.
Jim W. Wilhite Sr.,
William Hardin Bill Griffin.
Vernon L. Frazier,
Denny C. Smith.
Samuel K. Rowley,
Carl F. Roberts.
Golden Willie Acton Sr.,
Diane Cagle.
Gwenda K. Scott,
George Anthony Payne.
David Leslie Dave Eby,
James Paul Baldwin.
William F. Clary,
Chester Jewel Sonny Sams.
Edward Alford Ed Camoff,
William Mac Martin.
James Wayne Jim Rice,
Charles Patton C.P. Mallory.
James Daniel Red Reinberger,
Randy Lynn Hallmark.
Robert Jefferson Bob Pickrell,
Dr. William Reese Gabbert.
R. Scott Plain Sr.,
Jack H. Clark.
George Davis Berry,
Alvy Glenn Wilson.
Dr. Don F. Likens,
John M. Brannon.
Joseph L. Coombs,
Thomas Owen Smith.
Charles Anthony Doc Dockmeyer,
Delphin O. Sanchez.
Larry Anthony Diz Winstead,
Kenneth Eubanks.
James Edgar Ed Evans,
Ollie Manuel Gray Jr.
Monty Lewis Alexander,
Lester Emerson Haney.
Roscoe M. Patterson Jr.,
Robert Lewis Feldpow.
Dennis Sapp,
Randall Lee Halsey.
Jerry Wayne Eccles,
David Lee Cook.
George Lawrence Hamilton,
Wesley O. Hanson.
James L. Buddy Gaddis,
Matt L. Crooks Jr.
Tom Galloway,
Thomas Laverne Auld.
Stanley Young,
Irving Buddy Muffet.
Carl Vincent O'Brien,
James P. Payne.
Walter G. Wise,
Excuse me, I'm going to say that again. That's Joseph P. Payne. And then Michael Gold.
Charles Caswell Gray,
Sonny Joe Austin.
Emma Jean Hall,
William Bedford Kirk Sr.
Larry Lee Schaus,
David Joseph Hoover.
Robert S. Bob Whitaker,
Michael Ora McCannon.
Alfred L. J. Hudson,
George K. Cox Sr.
Thomas G. Ralph,
Mitchell L. Adams.
Danny Francis Daughtery,
Donald Ray Elm.
William Joseph Bill Freilich,
Joseph L. Morris.
Paul D. Melton,
Ira Wilson Guffey.
Walter William Wally Schnellenberger,
David E. Simpson.
Steve Hardesty,
Francis Lambert Howard.
Charles Henry Chuck Foster,
John Vernon Diddle Lanham.
Harold E. Scooter Grady,
James Lee Golden Eagle Benson.
Charles Leo Howard,
Louis Anthony Tony Condor II. Samuel Philip Bell,
Harry Dennis Steele,
Robert Reginald Gray,
Robert Lee Bob Heyman,
Danny Jean Megan,
Charles Gibbard Howard,
William Ralph Red Bradley,
Gerald B. Fortune,
Cyril Thomas Tom Gardner,
Kenneth Kenny Wedding,
Edward Lee Emerson,
Clinton H. Paulson,
Terry Wayne Belcher,
Roy Lee Wheatley,
Douglas Paul Harkins,
Roger Daughtery,
James Walter Walkie Bertram,
Raven Watson Ford,
Raymond J. Davenport Jr.,
Walter Bishop Phillips,
Kenneth Hoover Whitehouse,
Robert Wayne Priest,
John Bertram,
William Norman Dub Mattingly,
Albert Ray Hall,
Chester Raymond Jr., Poole Jr.,
Darrell Eugene Gene Hare,
William E. Bill Miller,
Anthony Eugene Herm,
Louis Gavin Taylor,
Simon Bartholomew Pat Sanders,
Melvin W. LeClaire,
Molly Bismeyer,
Clint Ross,
Robert Wayne Klaus Jr.,
Carl Lee Ransom,
Richard Thomas Berggraf,
Robert Allen Mays,
Doug Hicks,
Christopher Paul Vickers,
Thomas Elwood Castlen,
Cody Willis Evans,
Paul Thomas Souders,
Dr. H. C. Alfred Jr.,
Francis Allen Payne,
Thomas Wayne Reinerson,
William G. Bill Edgell,
Leonard L. Farrell Jr.,
Vincent Gerald Keller,
Danny Smith,
Arthur Wade Baird,
James B. Payne Jr.,
Marvin Larry Buddy Morris,
Arthur Wade Beard,
Thomas Kevin Riney,
Henry C. Higton,
Durwood Nation Raverty,
Robert A. Moores,
Kenneth R. Cash Staples,
Robert Edward Bob Copeland,
Herbert Harold Herb Bernard,
Fred E. Barlow,
Christopher Martin, Mr. Peachy Haight,
Herman Joseph Vogel,
James Jimmy Anderson,
Robert Neil Sutherland,
David Eugene Anderson Sr.,
Buford Warren Buddy Woodard,
Linda Carroll Johnson,
Robert Vernon Robertson Jr.,
David Wayne Thompson,
Lawrence Carroll Thomas,
James J. Amos,
B. H. Parker,
Ernest Franklin Haley,
Richard Justin Tootie Dick Clark,
Charles Leon Alms,
Carl Richard Geringer,
Bobby Jean Elliott,
Herman Vincent Bowes,
Herschel Norris,
Paul Franklin Williamson,
Stanley Smith-Wright Johnson, Jr.
Dennis Lee Sandow,
Ernest Dale Howard.
Robert Eugene Bob Robertson,
Larry W. Gross.
Joseph Edward Eddie Logston,
Forrest Leslie Les Nugent.
Philip Lee Hagan,
Charles Lehman Riley.
George Henry Harris Jr.,
William Edward Bill Ryle.
Melvera W. McGuire,
James Lloyd Duncan.
Leslie Haywood Bennett,
Donald K. Gross.
Anthony Joseph Skinner,
James Earl Jim Pendleton.
William D. Schroeder,
Nita Raines.
James W. Willie Johnson,
L. Stewart Augustine.
Gilbert Franklin Nick Nicholson Sr.,
Kenneth Lewis K.K. Kennedy.
James R. Havner,
Albert Jr. Vincent.
James Miller Pop Plain Sr.,
Charles Dennis Clark.
Doris Lee Dude Shutt,
Robert Bob Boykin.
Albert F. Laub Jr.,
Robert Hood.
Bill Early Jr.,
Jimmy Edward Engler.
Roy Lee Wright,
Bobby Jean Tucker.
William Randall Randy Bruner,
Adrian H. Rafferty Sr.
Jean Marie Smith,
Herbert H. Reedy.
Robert Allen Coley,
Clement Leslie Adams.
Ricky Jean Brown,
Fred Wesley Watts.
may we still stand at attention for taps, please. I want to thank everyone for coming today. Especially again, I want to thank Commissioner Charlie Castlen and also Mr. Russell Bird with his doves or white pigeons for bringing those to us that added so much to our ceremony here today. So let's give them a round of applause. And again, you all enjoy the rest of your day, and please remember what this day really means. Thank you.